everyone, and welcome back to Clapback Confessions. I'm Adriana Monique Alvarez. I'm your host. Just call me Monique. I always tell people for online, I have to have my full name because I'm in an SEO war with the actress Monique Alvarez. So this is the episode where I give the haters online 15 seconds of fame and I stay fabulous. And this is all about showing women that if you decide to have a perspective, if you decide to show up, speak up, tap into who you could be. If you decide to go big, if you decide to sell, make a lot of money, whatever it is, you're going to have some people who aren't very nice online, but that's no reason to stop. So let me make sure this is streaming over on Facebook. I also want to, I'll just tell you, there's a lot of jackassery in so little time, but I'm also going to share a little bit about the cool people who've messaged me this week, because you also got to make time for that. So let's see here. It looks like it's over on Facebook. And if you haven't watched my latest video, the boiling point content, you'll want to check that out. Talk about all the ways and everything about what it takes to create content that people actually care about and sit up and listen to. So shall we dive in? This is I actually had today's featured person since, I don't know, when did I say? Maybe it was Saturday. So I gotta find it again. So I posted about how marketing your business or speaking to people who already have money, it's not a bad idea. And here's some things to consider when you do that. So that was enough to light a fire under Sally Sue's butt. So I've got to find the exact comment. I thought I had it right here and I lost it. So tell me hi. Tell me where in the world you're joining from. This is Clapback Confessions. I do this every single week. And it's really to help women realize that when people attack you online, it really isn't about you. And I used to hate it when people tell me that, like, oh yeah, that's a nice cliche. But it really isn't. They're just miserable and they're just sharing that with you. Okay, so here we go. Yeah, I posted this 5 days ago. So I posted this in a Facebook group. I posted my stuff in a Facebook group. And Jen decided to stop by. Hi, T, joining in Missouri. So she says, the already wealthy are not everyone's target audience. I never said they were, Jen, but very good point. As far as selling to the wealthy and solving quote unquote rich people problems, I'm guessing you're already loaded or you wouldn't authentically know what that's like, correct? This, first of all, is a huge misconception, but we'll get into that another day. If you're not rich, I hope you're not resorting to using manipulative psych hacks and strategic wording to make quick bank from fewer people. Is that your strategy? This is just maybe a third or half of her whole comment. The interesting thing is when people are presented with a perspective different than theirs, it's very interesting in how they respond. Instead of going, you know what, I never thought of it that way, or I'm just going to keep scrolling, keep my mouth shut. It's an immediate attack of character. I hope you're not I don't even know what this is, to tell you the truth, Jen. You might have to elaborate for me. You're going to have to teach me your ways. Anyone know what manipulative psych hacks and strategic wording just to make a quick bank from fewer people, what does that mean? And she says, is this your strategy? And then she goes on to educate me that people are becoming pretty savvy about detecting that these days. But if I'm wrong, if you're already rich and you're using your authentic firsthand knowledge to sell to other wealthy people, fantastic. But I'm guessing they are fewer. There are fewer who can resonate with that in this group. So then she throws the entire group under the bus. Everyone in this group, no, we don't do that. We're going to stay average, below average. There's no rich people in this group. There's no people who would actually resonate with your post. Speak for yourself, Jen. Be clear, just so we're clear. I'm in full support of people selling at whatever price point they have the skill set, experience, and quality of product to justify. I guess that makes her the judge. But if that's not the case, this high ticket positioning and wording to create an image or false sense of connection. Now we're on a false sense of connection. We can just do better as professionals. Seriously, it's 2025. When I got to the bottom, I honestly was like, you know what? I think Jen's actually in a battle with herself. I think she's fighting with herself. So there was, it wasn't even going to be fun to argue with her, to tell you the truth. There have been people who it's fun for me to argue with, but this one I realized this is not even fun. So I just decided, Jen's all over the map. God, in one comment, she went everywhere. So I just decided to respond with one thing. Hey, Jen, I hope you're not resorting to being rude, judgmental, and condescending. So, and I have to give Jen some credit, because she actually totally backed down. She's like, oh my gosh, looking at it, I guess I do sound that way. Most people aren't going to do that. So I have to give Jen some credit. But this is what I want to say, is that when you communicate, when you post, when you tell a story, when you teach what you know, and people don't agree with it, instead of just not agreeing with it, it's very normal and very natural for them to attack who you are. The good thing, and actually what felt like the win in the situation, is it didn't impact me. It really didn't. I wasn't like, oh my gosh, am I using like mind Jedi tricks to trick people, and am I a bad person? Right? This is usually where women go. It's where I've went in the past. And unfortunately, the people who actually do this the most to women are other women, but that's no surprise. So that was a big one. And then I said in my post today, the thing is that me talking about making money in business, which I don't even know, is that a controversial thing? Like, are there people who own a business and they have no intention of making money? They don't want to make money? I mean, why have a business? Like, go live your life, right? Why even pretend to have a business? I mean, the only thing that makes this worth it is if you actually get to work with people, if you actually get paid, if you get to make a difference, if you get to do something with this. If there's no money being exchanged, there's nothing actually happening, right? None of the fun can actually start. But I was talking about in today's post how Mexicans don't like it when I make money, when I talk about this stuff. Yogis don't like it. Churchgoers don't like it. Shamans don't like it. You kind of get the gist. Essentially, what it comes down to is this, is when your words and your life make them see a version of themselves or the potential in themselves that they aren't actually ready to realize, then they're going to get mad at you. So I actually had an interesting conversation with my son about all this, because he's heard about these, Clapback Confessions. And what I find really interesting is that my kids get it better than most adults. And I left a message to some clients today. I left a long voice note to a group of clients who are starting their YouTube channel, starting to do videos, starting to put themselves out there, use their voice, talk about what they know, teach what they know. And I said, the thing of it is if you don't stop using the same words everybody else uses, if you don't stop being nice and convenient and likable and relatable, and if you don't stop sounding like everyone else, if you don't stop being fake, and if you don't stop being surface level, people aren't going to watch your videos. So they're not going to share your videos, right? But this, I think, is the biggest reason why women play it safe and why they hold back and they censor and they stay on the surface, is because the minute you don't, someone like Jen will be there to knock you down. So that's why we clap back. I want to also, though, read to you some things. Yeah. This is what I want to be on the other side of it. So let me find it really quick. This message, I told Derek, is my inbox has just been blowing up all day, but this message actually just came in about, what time is it? At 2 hours ago. She says, hey, Monique, thanks for connecting. I love your posts and videos. I was binge watching them last night. And then she says, I joined a few random groups here and there supposedly for female entrepreneurs, and they're all mostly repetitive, same-o, but not you. this is what you want to be said of you, because it becomes just a sea of sameness. And being the same, it does keep us safe, right? It's like, just move with the flock, just hide in the crowd, go with the group, go with the flow. But you're not ever going to be able to be the one that people go to and listen to and buy from and learn from if that happens. So this is what I want to remind you of. If you get loud and proud and you get really clear in what you have to say in your content this week, you could definitely get someone who tries to knock you down. But I want to remind you, you have choices. Number one, you can ignore them. And I did this mainly for the first, 8 years I was online. I would just ignore them, completely ignore them. I would not respond. You can ignore them. You can reply to them. You can point them out. You can shut them down. You can argue with them. You can defend yourself. You can justify yourself. You can block them. This is a big one I think people forget. It's social media. You can block them. You have so many choices in how you respond. And what I want to encourage you to do is this. I'm going to tell you, I actually thought I had the best strategy when I said nothing. But what I figured out a couple years ago is that all of that was still rattling around inside of me. And what it began to feel like for me, everybody has to find your own way. What it ended up feeling like for me over time was that I was letting people step on me. I was letting people punch me in the face. I was letting people get away with it. That's what it felt like for me. And what I realized when I came back online a year ago is that I wouldn't do that again. That's not my response. So I tried that response. I'm going to try a new response. So if you can't tell, my new response is to clap back, is to actually, instead of hoping no one sees it, instead of trying to pretend it didn't happen and just hoping it kind of dies away in the algorithm and sinks to the bottom of my posts, I am going to actually give it an entire episode, a showcase, a place to shine. And this is why I'm doing it. Because for me, what I have learned is everything that I try to tuck away and I try to hide, there's still some level of embarrassment or shame around it. I am no longer going to be embarrassed because of other people's actions and them trying to drag me down when they could use all their energy to elevate themselves. And this is a telltale sign. You already know this, but I'm going to say it again to you today. If somebody has the time and the energy to write you a novel in the comment section about you and your life, they aren't using their time and energy and resources in the best ways. They are not becoming the best version of themselves. I can guarantee you that. I am not going to turn away from it anymore because I also know, and what I learned, and I want to thank you for this, so many of you reached out and said, Monique, this happened to me. This is what it escalated to. Some of you have shared stories with me, and I'm like, wow, people were willing to go there. They were willing to go that low. And if everyone is silent about it, everyone is in their situation thinking something's wrong with them, that they are alone, that their life is over, life as they know it is over. In fact, this week in the story that built her, I interviewed Alexandria, and she talked about a time that she got completely smeared online, attacked, and what that did to her and what she had to do to come out of it. After last week's session, some of you reached out and said, I literally am just resurfacing because of what people did. Some of you have entire Reddit threads dedicated to you. Some of you have hate groups on Facebook. Some of you have people who have went the distance to take you down. And they have never went the distance in raising themselves up. That's what I want you to remember. So we're not going to keep quiet about this. I'm not going to keep quiet about it so that you know you're not alone and you have lots of choices in how you respond. You figure out what works for you, but I'm going to tell you something. This is part of becoming our biggest, brightest selves. Because a bright light can illuminate someone's path, but it can also blind their eyes. When you are bright, you will do both. There's nothing you can do about it. And the way it hits people is up to that person. There's so many factors outside of you that are included. I am here to shine a light on it. I'm here to say it happens. Keep trucking, ladies. Keep being fabulous. Keep shining your light. Keep being bright. They can figure it out. Until next week, stay fabulous.